What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and things are getting worse for Jussie Smollett. You may know him as Jussie Smollett, but most of the world knows him as the French actor Jussie Smollett, who thought that the entire world's damage or suffering, or the entire world's strife, was something worth exploiting so he could get a few more dollars from Fox while he was on Empire or whatever. He is everything, personifies everything wrong with Hollywood, and things are going quite bad for him. He's been behind bars for only a few days, and he's already been moved. That's right. He is now in the psych ward, and his family is extraordinarily mad about that. Now, we knew that Jussie Smollett was going to be a problem child in lockup. He's already getting every conceivable concession, whether it's protective custody, so he doesn't have to interact with actual prisoners. He's got no cellmate, so he's just alone in his cell, so he doesn't have to worry about that stuff. He's obviously got all the money in the world on his books, so he can get whatever canteen he wants. I think right now Jussie's probably taking some ramen noodles and crushing them up, some Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and crushing those up, making a little pizza crust out of the ramen noodles, and then getting a summer sausage, maybe some honey buns. I'm sure he's getting plenty of honey buns in prison, if you know what I mean. So he's getting those honey buns, some zoom zooms, some wham whams, and he's just fine. Granted, being in a 12 by 12 room by myself for 5 months would probably be pretty tough to do. It's nowhere near what other people are having to go through in similar situations. But his brother, who's of course making this all about him, has just reported Jussie Smollett placed in psych ward at Cook County and brother claims this on Instagram. Authorities are apparently taking no chances on Jussie Smollett's safety while incarcerated, reacting to Smollett's outburst upon being sentenced Thursday on charges related to his fake hoax. Authorities have placed him in the psychiatric ward. That's typically where high-profile prisoners are kept. Jussie yelled to the courtroom upon his conviction that he had no feelings of self-harm and he would not do that while in custody. The statement was seen as a nod to other famous and infamous inmates like Jeffrey and John McAfee, who both, of course, allegedly did this while locked up. Now, I don't think Jussie Smollett has access to any kind of secret information. I don't think he knows anything about Hillary. I don't think he has any real reason to worry about this. But apparently, I mean, it's all an act for him. By the way, if you're watching this video and you aren't currently subscribed to the channel, there's a red subscribe button down below. I know that it can be a pain and maybe you have to create an account or whatever, but I would really greatly appreciate it. I upload 6 days a week. And it's hard enough to just find my videos. YouTube doesn't put them at the forefront, so please consider subscribing if you appreciate the effort. The brother added, quote, Jussie is currently in a psych ward at Cook County, his brother said in a video posted to the Empire's actor's Instagram. What's very concerning is that there was a note attached to his paperwork today and put in front of his jail cell saying that he's at risk of self-harm. Why is that confusing? Like, why would that be confusing? He clearly had some sort of breakdown at his sentencing. This is, and make no mistake about it, this is exactly what Jussie Smollett wanted. This is exactly what he wanted. He wants people talking about him every single day. He's in lockup. He wants to increase his cachet. It's going to be hilarious when he comes out and he's all swole and he's wearing a do-rag and he's converted. Now he's Muslim now. And he's going to act like he did like hard time in the federal penitentiary. That's going to be what happens. It's just going to be, it's going to be hilarious. He also writes, his brother writes, I want to make it clear to folks that he was in no way, shape, or form at any kind of risk of this. But he clearly looked like he was having a mental breakdown, in my opinion. And he wants to let folks know that he is very stable, and he is very strong, and he is very healthy, and all ready to take on the challenge that ultimately has been put up against him. Would be interesting. Wouldn't this be an interesting little theory? What if he's thinking about martyring himself, and he wants to set all this up for this ultimate legacy? People thought that about John. People thought that about McAfee. I mean, he had all these things he said that he didn't have any feelings of this, didn't have any thoughts of this. And then sure enough, what ends up happening? Now, I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't speculate to know for sure. But what I do know is I could see John wanting that to be his legacy, and knowing that if he set it all up, he would create this controversy and theories all around it. Jussie, just as self-absorbed, certainly could be. He was sentenced to 150 days in jail, 30 months probation, restitution of $120,000, and a fine of $25,000 on Thursday for his part in orchestrating the hoax. He repeatedly shouted, "I am innocent. I do not have any opinions of self-harm," as he exited on Thursday. "You're a charlatan pretending to be a victim of a crime," Judge Lynn said to Jussie Smollett on Thursday, on Thursday's sentence, she added that the actor's name has become an adverb for lying. You don't even know the gender of the judge? Come on, Deadline, it's a man. Right? Am I wrong? I watched the trial. That is a dude, right? Right? It's 2022. I don't even know anymore. I'm pretty sure it was a man. And you see some of these other articles, of course. Free Jussie, says Empire castmates, compares him with Emmett Till, which is, of course, a disgrace, to Emmett's name. Instagram is rapidly becoming the go-to source for Jussie defenders. Actually, it's I'm your number one Jussie news channel right here, The Quartering. Okay. Today, Jussie's fellow castmate took to the service to plead for home confinement rather than jail. Yeah, really, yeah. It'd be really tough for a guy who's a multi-millionaire to sit in his mansion for 150 days and have DoorDash deliver food all day long. Real punishment there. Half this country, the whole country has had to do that for the last 2 years in many cases. She posted a stark black and white message with the hashtag Free Jussie and a full-throated call for his release. Smollett is reportedly in Cook County Psych Ward, where high-profile prisoners are kept. I'm not here to debate you on his innocence. Well, because that's already been debated, he's guilty. But can we agree that the punishment does not fit the crime? Actually, no, we cannot. Emmett Till had a terrible situation happen because of a lie, and none of the people involved with his demise spent 1 day in jail, even after Carlin Bryant admitted that her claims were false. Henson added, "No one was hurt during Jussie's ordeal." Let me ask you a question, Henson. Let's say the police had found two patsies, two white guys that happened to be wearing MAGA hats somewhere in Chicago, and they were poor because they didn't have poor, so they couldn't get a good defense. Maybe they were homeless. You mean you don't think patsies exist? So let's say they find two patsies and they say, "Oh, these are the guys that did it." Do you think, I want to know this, do you think that Jussie Smollett would have come out and said at that time that he was lying about everything? Or do you think he would have let two innocent men go to prison? And by the way, their sentence would have been much, much, much harsher. Exactly. Jussie would have let those dudes rot. So no, I don't feel bad at all. The idea that you want You know, he lost everything by his own behavior. Now his name is associated with a liar, trying to divide a nation. Even though he has friends in high places, he is not above the law. Frankly, he deserves more time behind bars. When you get caught calling your so-called people to beat you up, writing a check, lying about your relationship, because he tried to say he was hooking up with one of the guys, having a crooked prosecutor, the list goes on and on. He should try a new line of work because he's too dumb as a criminal. You know, they say criminals aren't too smart. This dude is a prime example. Getting pictures with politicians doesn't make you special, and it says a lot about who they are. You see, okay, got it, but really, Emmett Till, the entitled liar, received an unbelievable sentence, which in my opinion was not enough. Truth is, we all reap what we sow. All of us, even our friends. It's quite frankly, it's pretty disgusting to try and compare these two. The idea that you have 19 million followers and you're saying free Jussie, free him. This is a dude that sat on the stand and repeatedly lied. Repeatedly to the judge, lied to his face, perjured himself, went on TV and fake cried and talked about how he was never going to recover from it and all this stuff. I don't feel bad for him. Obviously, I don't want anything bad to happen to him in jail. You know, when you're in jail, the state does have a level of responsibility to, make sure that you're not being taken advantage of in there and things of that nature. I know that if, I ever ended up there, I sure would hope that, the guards are doing their jobs, at least to a minimum standard. Jussie is in the psych ward because that's where he wants to be. His PR spin machine, which is his family, is the one that is trying to pretend that he isn't, so that they can keep painting him as this strong warrior. And they can shift the narrative by the time he's released, and in my opinion will be under 30 days, that he was the victim. He endured this injustice. That's what they're going to do. He's going to do his time. He is never going to admit he lied. And then they're going to try to paint him as some sort of hero. Mark my words. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.